Hey, thank you for joining me. This is the Crypto Rain channel and I'm your host Jay Murph, and today we're talking about HBAR or Hedera Hashgraph. Now I'm going to go into exactly what I think it's been doing recently and what I think it might do in the future, and then I'm going to tell you whether it's getting any of my investment dollars. So let's get this party started. John McAfee says he is eating his own. Alright, thank you for joining me. Yes, you probably noticed that is my wife in there, and yes, she's way too pretty for me, but don't tell her that. Sometimes women, they just want a good man, even if they're beautiful and I'm just mediocre looking. Let's get into Hedera Hashgraph and let's talk about what I think. So let's break it down. Market cap, $876 million. That's fine. The price, 12 cents essentially. Okay, circulating supply. This is a red flag, but sometimes I still like projects that have a low circulating supply versus the max supply. So it seems maybe about 12.5% or so is out there in circulation. All right. So let's look at the history. Now, HBAR did ICO back here. So 16th of August 2018, that was in the crypto winter. In other words, the bear market. And they raised $100 million out of their sought for $120 million. That is a ton of funds. And the two people leading the project, I have to admit, they are brilliant. So Mance Harmon and Dr. Lehman Baird, they absolutely know what they're doing. Now, anybody can put forward an improvement proposal to Hedera Hashgraph. However, that is voted on not by you and not even by holders. It is voted on by these guys. Now, these are some big companies: LG, Google, IBM, Deutsche Telekom, Dentons, Boeing, etc., etc. Yeah, so that's great. Also, any improvement proposals or other things are voted on by them, not by the token holders. I do not like that one bit at all. All right, so it has had some price runs here. And what will it do in the short term? Well, let's look at Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance, I still think this head and shoulders pattern might complete. And for it to complete, I'd want to see it come up a little bit. That's pretty low compared to there, but who knows? At some point, it's going to go whomp. And I know that's not a technical term. That is just a fun term, because crypto should be technical. It should also be fun. All right. So I wouldn't be shocked if after Bitcoin retracing some, that Bitcoin takes off and people jump on the Bitcoin train, and then altcoins go absolutely ballistic. So here we are at the end of February, getting into March. I wouldn't be surprised to see that at all. Hedera has had a big run and it's having a retracement. Wouldn't be surprised to see more retracement on it, but we'll see. Let's look at the fib retracement and see how things are going. All right. So it's been hitting this resistance around the 38.2. We'll see what happens from this portion here and whether it breaks up or breaks down. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the alts that are showing similar patterns to this break down, because a lot of what we've seen is a rising tide raises all boats, and we've seen a lot of cryptocurrencies take off during this time. Hedera Hashgraph included. So it went from 3 cents to 15 cents and now has retraced to 12 cents, which unfortunately for ICO investors, I don't know what pre-sale people got it at, but ICO investors, that is right at essentially what they paid for it back in 2018, and that would be extremely depressing. So they raised a ton of money. They made it so these people get to vote, not the token holders. And the other problem is, did you know that if these people wanted to increase the total amount of tokens, they could, despite what token holders decide on? So I'll say its pros are it's led by some really smart people, backed by some really big organizations with really smart people. But I'm just not seeing how the tokenomics are good for me at all. And so this is absolutely not going in my portfolio. I hope it's okay with you that I speak real straight on this. I speak straight anyway, even if it's not okay with you. That's just how I am. But if I'm offending you, I apologize. And if you're a huge holder of this, I apologize. Maybe you know a bunch that I don't know. And even if you did know a bunch I don't know if you could convince me to put this in my bag just because I just don't like those things. See, when tokenomics aren't great or incentives aren't aligned with those who are running it, I just don't like that. You know, incentives tend to dictate behavior. And when these groups don't have necessarily the same incentives as token holders, yet they're the decision makers, yeah, it's just not getting my money. All right, so now that you know I'm going to pass on it, well, where could this go? Let's see. I still think it could go much higher. Now, if I were investing in this, these would be my take profit zones. So it would be about 36 cents and about 62 cents. Because likely, I think after some pullback, it's going to be like pulling a rubber band back and letting it go. And it will take off much like many things will take off. I just worried about this for the long term. I don't know as to what kind of decisions they're going to make. Maybe if there's great things you know about it that I'm unaware of, you can share that down below. Maybe it would change my mind. I just don't see, though, it doing that. All right, so that's my review on Hedera Hashgraph and whether I'm interested in it for my portfolio, and the answer is a big resounding no. So I know you probably hate this video. If you happen to like it and you especially like me shooting it straight, hit that like button. And if you wouldn't mind subscribing, it will help me towards the end goal, which is to grow a big audience so that the devs in the different teams will come on the show and answer our questions. I found that just by myself as an investor, because I'm just an investor myself and have been for 4 years since the last major bull run, learned some very valuable lessons, and I'm passing those on to you, that I've been reaching out to the teams and haven't gotten quite the attention I would like to and quite the quickness in responses that I would like to make better decisions. So I thought maybe if I tried to find ways to add value to all of you, you would like to subscribe to my channel, and that would help me put together a big group and a big team. Maybe we'll call them the Rainmakers. A big team of Rainmakers growing a big channel so that we can get some of the best people on, like Charles Hoskinson and others, and especially teams on the new projects. That's who I'd love to talk to, because those are the risky decisions. The truth is, Charles Hoskinson with ADA, I'd love to have him on because I'm a huge fan of him, but he's pretty open about what's going on. The harder ones to figure out is a lot of these new projects or newer projects where the teams aren't so known, and we'd like to speak with them, like to ask them the deeper questions, and that's what I'd like to get answers to. So all of you can help me in that goal, if you would please, by subscribing and also hitting that like button. Thanks so much for joining me today. I will see you next time.